The scorpion living quarters were small. Verdun wasn't surprised that they weren't as well furnished as the spiders, but the average scorpion was bigger than the average spider. This seemed impractical. Still, as he traversed the threshold of the carved circular building, briefly noting that it resembled what a tarantula would live in before the last great conquest massacred them, Verdun realized that he had no time to think about military housing as he determined the fate of those living within. It wasn't an easy task. The supply stations had a lot of scorpions working for them, so many, in fact, that there were already complaints about keeping them from work. As two spider soldiers searched their living quarters for anything suspicious, Verdun had ordered them not to damage anything that wasn't, but he didn't think they listened to him. The commander spoke to the clawed ones. Most bristled at the accusation. One tried to strike him with its tail, which Verdun easily grabbed below the stinger. Everyone was shocked when he did not have the young one publicly punished for that act. For whatever reason, after that moment, everyone started opening up. They still wouldn't tell him who poisoned the spiders, but Verdun started to suspect that was because most of them genuinely didn't know. Coming upon a green soldier, marking his inexperience with both body paint and mannerism, the spiders interrupted him before he could begin his line of questioning. Hey, is this it? The troop's upper limbs held containers filled with visible cannabis, the poison from the scorpion lands. Verdun stared at the green soldier, whose entire demeanor seemed to have shifted. The beetles paid me a lot! More than you spiders were paying! Besides, the collective is evil! Spiders are evil! Scorpions are truly the master species! Verdun had seen many plays put on by local clans who couldn't afford to get what they wanted for the performance. He knew bad acting. This was some really bad acting. Why would someone be telling me a bad lie about this? Part of him admitted that maybe the revelation that he was wrong about the beetles' motivation was holding him back, but that still didn't make sense. Why would the beetles bother to go through with hiring this young one? Why go for such a low-profile plan? Why would someone sound as if they were a horrible liar if they were confessing the truth? A fall guy, he reasoned. This isn't just some angry scorpion, as I suspected, but a group, and they've chosen this one to take the punishment and divert suspicion if they got caught. The spider in question did not understand why Verdun didn't simply take the prisoner to Venla so she could have him ripped apart. Verdun suspected he didn't understand a lot of things. I wish to speak to the suspect alone. Somehow I feel it can help me stop future incidents. The spider did not look pleased, but bowed to the wishes of a superior commander before leaving the room. Turning to the scorpion, his green paint starting to peel off, Verdun told him, Your story doesn't make sense. Why would the beetles bother infiltrating the collective army to this depth only to poison the food of some relief troops? Why wouldn't you even try to hide the poison? The scorpion's voice sounded stunted, unnatural, as he responded. Oh, are you saying you don't believe my confession? I should have turned to crime years ago. It would have helped me kill millions of spiders for the greatness of the beetle cause. He tried to undergo a rendition of a traditional beetle marching song, but it was so disjointed and missing so many words that Verdun had to scream to shut the kid up. If you're telling the truth, I would hate to hear how false a lie sounds. Scorpion, giving up the game surprisingly easily, simply told him, You spiders think you know everything, don't you? Well, did you know that us scorpions are breaking our tails to serve the collective, dying in your armies? And for what? The tarantula promised us unity and strength for all who crawled with 8 legs. I never imagined by the time the spiders were done taking theirs, there wouldn't be any left for the rest of us. For the first time since Verdun had known him, The green soldier sounded genuine. You know, and I'm sure you think you do, but you don't. That my mother believed in the tarantula's cause. She went out of her way to aid the spiders during the Great Conquest, with me just a little scorpling with no exoskeleton riding on her back. When the tarantula started making his speeches a few years later, she was among the first within Scorpion Clan to swear her loyalty. What did she get for it? The spiders took our home for the good of the collective, and put her into some working position that did everything to avoid calling itself slavery. She was worked to death. The worst part? She still sang the songs right to the very end. The fact that Ver did not doubt the Scorpion's story in the slightest bothered him. When I heard these guys were going to do something to get back at the spiders, even if it was small, I agreed to take the blame. I don't want them to get caught. I won't let them get caught. Tell your superiors I'm the traitor. It's sort of true anyway. So you can get whatever lavish reward they dole out to your kind, and the matter will be resolved. He looked at Verdun, expression contorted in pain. These people are too cowardly to go through with anything else, especially since they can't go through any more Fall Guys without raising suspicion. He muttered something under his breath, something that Verdun thought he believed unheard. That lopsided yellow claw couldn't pinch a doomed mayfly without assurance that it wouldn't bite. Yellow wasn't a common color among the scorpions that Verdun knew. Lopsided claws were so often killed as children among the scorpion clans that was a far rarer trait. Most spiders would take in the fall guy and use this new evidence to find the real culprit. 2 conspirators for the price of 1. Verdun, however, was not about to convict an innocent, even one who clearly would rather have been part of the ordeal. He called the other spider back in. Keep this one in holding. I have another lead I wanted to look into before we convict. Said other spider looked as if he were about to protest, but Verdun not subtly stood up to where his body paint would be most visible before the soldiers thought to say anything untoward, shall we say. Even so, Verdun could barely make out "waste of time," muttered in a frustrated tone when the soldier thought he was out of earshot. But the Green Scorpion was probably hearing all of it in his chains. Calling for another lower-ranking spider, he demanded all information on scorpions with yellow exoskeletons and uneven claws operating near the supply stations.